right, so this is Frank Lewandowski III with Just a Couple Dudes podcast in the podcast studio.
First one.
The very first one. And we are excited to have not a $500 laptop, but an HD camera. I mean, things are popping in here.
We've got colors on the wall.
Yeah, we have colors on the wall. We have a desk. Yeah. But we have a big episode today. We have Brandon here, my co-host. We also have two guests. We have one big guest and another big guest too. We have Justin Faircloth is a buddy of mine. He's a copywriter from Frankly New Joints, and he's been a big part of my business, or our business actually, that's coming out here in a month. And then we went to boot camp 13 years ago. And then we have the famous Mike Johnson.
Hey, Mike.
Thank you for having me on your podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I just want to give you a little shout out. So we start every episode with usually a good male role model. So you're going to be our good men segment. I've known you for 13 years, man. It was only for 8.5 weeks, but you had a big impact on my life because I was 20 years old going to boot camp, and you were the leader of 55, 56 men. I'm actually wearing our boot camp shirt, by the way. Real corny. But yeah, so I haven't even worn this since boot camp, but yeah, I just remember the impact you had on me, man, and seeing you famous now, or whatever you want to call it, being successful and happy. You're the same guy I knew back then at 20 years old with one of the hardest times of my life. So you're just a good guy, man, that is being who you are. The Bachelorette just exposed you, but it hasn't changed who you are. Your book is going to reach a ton of people in the community. We're excited to share that. And you're a good male segment, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, bro. I am the same person, the exact same person. I mean, I still go out and do the exact same things. I don't even have an AC in my car right now. All my homeboys talk crap about me. I'm like, look, man, I'm busy right now. I got things to do before I get AC in the car, you know. The same old dude. I still am extremely ambitious and, you know, have love for people and try to put people, you know, give them that confidence that they need. Just same dude. The Bachelorette was just me trying to find love, just with a camera in my face, a good HD camera in my face.
There you go.
Yeah, it brought out that smile, man. You're always like picturesque. Like, do you have a bad picture, Mike? Like,
bro, I got plenty of bad pictures.
Do you? What's your bad picture? Still an above average picture. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Mike's walking around 6'4", 230, yoked. I mean,
disarming smile.
I'm like, what the hell, man? And he's like a cool bro too. And I'm like, he was instantly the natural leader of a guy of 56 guys. And we could all relate to him. It didn't matter if it was the weakest link in that group of people. Mike related, and Mike led us. And I don't know, Mike, you weren't that old, dude. I thought you were older.
Nah, I wasn't. Faircloth, how old are you? Are you older than me?
I'm 32 now.
32? Oh, yeah, I'm 32 as well.
Yeah, we're the same age then.
Yeah, I wasn't old. We had, I forget his name. I know we had a few guys that were older than me. I was on the older side.
Yeah.
At 21?
Yeah,
at 21, that's old in boot camp. Like,
I mean, it kind of is, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, man.
You know,
I was such a little shit at 21.
I mean, I think
too.
we were too.
Yeah.
So, Mike, when it came to that role of being a natural leader, like, why do you think you are that way, or what brought you to that point, like at such a young age?
To me, I had a lot more stressors than what the military offered and what the military brought to the table as far as boot camp. I think just the way I grew up, I was the leader of the household. I grew up with all women, mom, sister, and grandma. And, you know, I literally will never forget, I was like 8 years old and it was storming. And my sister got to jump in bed with my mom, but I tried to, and she said no. And so I just had to, like, you know, tough it out. I'm like, Mom, it's thunderstorming. You know, I just had to tough it out. And I guess that's just a part of me. And then all my homies, you know, before military, even when we would do something stupid, I was always the one that would speak up and be the voice of reason, right? I think that's just I think that I thrive in it. I want to be the one to have to do extra push-ups because some dumbass in our flight, you know, messes up something. But then also, I want to be the one that has the humility to say, yo, Shaw, y'all remember Shaw?
Yeah.
Shaw could run like the wind, right? Mm-hmm. And I was humble enough to be like, yo, I'm the leader of this, but I cannot run like you, bro. I could not.
Yeah, he just trucked, man. Yeah, I wasn't a runner, but yeah.
I was not. Neither was I.
I think it was the charisma for this guy. So Mike was like 4 beds down for me. And no matter what, like someone was always wanting to talk with Mike because he just had that charisma going where no matter what the mood was, no matter what we went through that day, Mike had that big smile on his face. He was joking around and he made it a fun time. Like you want to be around people like that, people that have that positive influence. And Mike provided that for all of us.
I just remember I always used to say sexy a lot. Y'all look sexy today. I always used to say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things said too, you know. What was their saying in boot camp? I was going to keep it for the end actually as their quote, but what is their saying? It's on the plaque. It's like sometimes we just make shit up. We just made shit up. That was their saying from Sergeant Johnson. And the thing about how Air Force is different, right, from other branches, but the Air Force went from 6 weeks to 8 weeks and became more war ready because we were not used to be war ready. So we had a week of beast training, they called it. And I was actually told in boot camp, our instructor said, yeah, you're deploying every 6 months. And I go, what the hell did I sign up for? And in Iraq and Afghanistan, like I'm down to give my life for the country, but I want to have a life at home. That's why I did reserve. You remember that? Like Sergeant Johnson, like he told it straight, man. Like,
personally, I would have loved to have, been deployed every other 6 months or whatever, once a year, shall I say like that. I would have loved it personally.
Yeah, I just thought, I didn't know what I got into, man. So when I got in, I was like, oh, it's just 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And I was like, whatever. And then it was a lot tougher than I thought. I thought Air Force was going to be more like the chair force they called about. I don't remember a chair. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
people talk crap about us, but I could tell you, I did an ass load of push-ups.
Oh my God, the amount of push-ups. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
We had a room, man, not to talk too much about boot camp, but to give people an idea. We had a day room where the guy would throw a wet towel between the door and the wedge to shut it, and it would become a sauna in there with 56 guys doing push-ups till we almost passed out. Like he would do, and that was actually illegal. I don't know if they can go. Yeah, it was actually like against the rules, but he would do that to make us sweat. We'd be in a puddle of sweat doing push-ups, flutter kicks, or whatever.
I can almost smell it right now.
Yeah, I still smell. Actually.
Definitely had a smell.
Yeah. And then, can we talk about what do you remember about me, Mike?
Yeah, walking around with your big ass whitey tighties on. Like,
yeah, man. Oh man. So the way I look at it, I don't like to wear clothes very often, so it is what it is. But like you have what, 26 guys in one big open bay. These things are from the 50s. And then the other bay, you guys are in the other bay. I was in a different one. And I was like, whatever, we're at home. Like we shower together. Like who gives a shit? So we have to wear the same thing. So whitey tighties, they call me Captain Underpants. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like I'm just who I am. Like, this is hell. This is shit. So why not make the best of it? So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. This is hell. This is shit.
That's still Frank now, man.
Yeah, man. I'm the same, bro. Dude, there's no difference. I just have some initials.
His own drum.
Yeah. So Mike, can you talk to us a little bit about like your career and how the Air Force propelled you and how you got to where you are today?
Bro, the Air Force, I owe so much to the Air Force because of things like our boot camp, right? Having yourself, having Faircloth, and just different culture. Like that's what the Air Force teaches you. Like I don't care about anything else. My biggest takeaway from the military was the culture shock. Being around different people, different backgrounds, different creeds, different nationalities, and understanding perspective from them, right? Understanding life through their lenses. And then me being patient and being receptive to it, right? Wanting to understand how they see things, wanting to understand that person's point of view. I remember in our boot camp, our basic cruise, from New York.
Yeah. From New York.
From New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cruise, me and him got into it. And I remember, I don't know if you guys know this, Sergeant Johnson told me, or TI, he's like, man, people from New York. And like, because Cruz and I got into it, we all, always got to a physical altercation, but just learning different people, what turns people off, what turns them on, what sets them off, all those little nuances is what I learned from the Air Force, and I absolutely love it. And I take that. Some people may take it and be like, and have a negative mindset to it. I took it and was like, okay, this is how I can connect with someone, right? Like Faircloth was saying, as far as being charismatic, this is what I can do to build a relationship with this individual right here. And when I left the Air Force, when I left boot camp, I was, dorm presidents, winning airman of the quarter, things like that. I know Faircloth is like super airman. I was
Super Air Force guy.
I was not the super airman.
Yeah.
I looked at a Faircloth, but that's just carried along with me my entire life. I mean, even till on the Bachelorette, Hannah Brown, the Bachelorette, she said to me, as she let me go, "You're such a leader in the house." I honestly don't know. All I can say is I put people in check, but then I also love up on them really hard too.
Yeah,
So
you went
think
back
it's a
and
level of
watched it,
respect.
right?
What do you say?
You went back and watched it, right?
No, I haven't seen the whole thing. No.
Oh, they edited you as like the clear leader of the house. If you ever went back and watched it.
Yeah.
I don't think much
Yeah.
editing required there.
No, yeah, you can edit. These reality shows however you want it, but yeah, he was the clear kind of head of that house.
Yeah,
My wife, makes me watch it. I don't do it.
Makes you watch
I don't
it.
at all do it
Puts a gun to your
voluntarily.
head. Watch
Yeah,
this right now.
yeah, exactly. It's really violent.
Dude, so I listened to another podcast, Mike, that you were on, and I forget the name of it. It's like, was it the female? It was really good.
Oh yeah, it was just on
I just listened to it. Gosh darn. Mike,
Female Collective?
No, gosh, you've probably been on a bunch. It was like it was like 3 words.
Yes.
Don't something. Don't overdo it.
She was really funny.
She was really funny, dude. And I remember you talking about how you applied to the Bachelorette and you said some friends said, "Hey, go for it." Like, how did that work?
Yeah, so I was in a relationship. I was at REF Lakenheath over in England and fell in love with a girl. And, we decided to move to America together. Was together in America for about 2 years. I broke up with her, and I think that I said that like that. I said it with emphasis because I feel like you can break up with someone and still have your heart broke. And the heart was broke. I was at home depressed for about 10, 11 months.
What did that look like, man?
You said, what did that look like?
Yeah, you said you were depressed 10, 11 months, and also you said that you can break up but also be heartbroken. I think that is not connected a lot by people.
Yeah, it's not. I think that people automatically associate whoever did the breaking up means that they don't care for that person, which I think is yes. I think that you could break up with someone for the sanity of your own heart, right? And for the sanity of who you are as an individual, male or woman, right? And so I did that for the betterment of us individually and for myself individually, right? What did it look like was staying home every single day. I didn't have a job at the time. I've always been financially secure. So I had a lot of money saved up that took care of all the bills for all those months. And it was just, I would wake up, go to the couch, not turn the TV on, and just think, and be in my own thoughts, just be in my own head. For hours on end, like it was absurd. Like it's crazy to even think right now. I used to do that. The TV, sometimes the TV would be on, but I wasn't watching it. I would just be looking up at the roof, the ceiling. It would just be background noise, right? I never cried. And I'm not saying that to be macho, that I just didn't. I did shed 6 thug tears one time.
Thug tears?
6 thug tears, yeah. I was watching Netflix. It was some movie called, it's a really good movie, The American Dream. It was about a college football player who lost his leg, and all those people were in the gym all those people were in the hospital with him. And I shed those tears because I was like, man, who will be there for me? If I went through cancer and lost a leg, right? And so that's why I did that. But I realized I just had to stop being a damn victim and stop being a little child. Like I got to stop moping around, And that's kind of what it came down to. But I will tell you, when I went back into the workforce, I literally hyperventilated and almost threw up because I hadn't been around people in such a long time. Me being a charismatic person, almost threw up because I was around people for the first time in like almost a year, right? And did that, got out of that depression. A lot of the things I talk about in my book are literal examples of things that I chose to do to help my way out, like some exercises that I talk about in my book, some mantras. The way you speak to yourself is real.
Oh, 100%.
That's real. Like if I say, like I'm a mentee with Big Brothers Big Sisters. If I speak to my mentee one way, but then his mom speaks to him another way. It's conflicting ideas for him. He doesn't know what to think, right?
Mhm.
But if I speak to him negative and his mom speaks to him negative, he's more than likely to speak to himself negatively, right?
Mhm.
So it's huge. The things that you say to yourself, you know, are paramount. Like I always tell myself, I'm motherfucking Mike Johnson. You know,
I wish I could say
mean,
that.
I mean every ounce of that statement right there. Y'all should say it about yourself, right? I'm motherfucking Justin Fairclough, right? You know, under your breath, you don't got to say it out loud. I'm MFing, whatever the case may be, right? And that's how I got out of that depression. And then, you know, after some time, a few years later after that, I was like, yo, I want to be in a relationship again. And my homeboy was like, why? He was like, you get girls, like, why? And I was like, bro, you know, I want a wife and kids. Like, you know, to me,
Yeah.
that's like the
Mhm.
next thing, right? You know? And he was just laughing at me. He died laughing. He was like, bro, you can get any girl you want. Why would you want to do that? I want a wife and kids, bro. So
Yeah.
after like 45 minutes of him laughing at me, about 6 months later, he sent me a Facebook like casting call. He was like, hey, you should try out for this show. I was like, I don't got nothing to do on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot there, Mike. I mean, a lot that we could go off on different tangents and things like that. First, that it's okay to have periods of depression. Uh, the only way to not hurt with love is to not love, right? We're gonna have pain from it, and that's how we grow. I would say that's what created who you are today, was going through those tough times. Um, Also, as a really strong guy, dude, I mean, you're built like a tight end. I mean, it's nice to see a guy that's has humility, has pride, and is able to talk
Vulnerability.
about being vulnerable. Because we need more men that, you know, the stoic men are the ones that end up, you know, taking their own life or taking it out on others, and they don't have the support. So we try to be like strong men, but also vulnerable. And just because you don't cry does not mean you're not hurting. You know, 'cause I
Absolutely.
can't cry either. I don't know how. I wish I could. I think it would clear up some allergies, maybe. I don't know, like something in my eyes, but I just
Yeah.
can't.
You got a little clogged up, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm clogged.
I have cried 3 times that I can remember. Once when Selena died, rest in peace, Selena, and then twice tears of happiness. Like, bro,
Oh,
this is
that's
the
good. Yeah.
bro. This is the corniest thing. I remember one time I cried tears of happiness when it was me, my ex on the couch, and then my homeboy. He was a recon. He was recon in Air Force,
Mhm.
tatted up, super swole dude. Like just somebody you like, all right, whatever you tell me to do, I'll do, right? And he was making like some dessert, and I just started crying out of nowhere. My girl was like, at the time, she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And then my homeboy, he was like, "Bro, you okay?" And I was just like, "I'm happy."
That's
That was the
funny.
first time that ever happened in my life. And then I cried the second time when I think, you know, when you break up with somebody, you try to like see if it's still some flames at some point in time. And when we tried to see if there were still flames, my ex said, "I'm sorry," because she had never apologized for anything she had did before, right? And
Oh.
like when she said, "I'm sorry," tears just be happening when they want to, right? And so I
Yeah.
think that was the other time that I had cried. And those were the only 3 times. So I would say I definitely could cry, but as far as cry over when I'm by myself, nah, I really don't have it.
How much did that apology mean to you?
Oh, it was everything. I didn't know I needed it until it happened, right? When she said, "I'm sorry," because I look, when I'm in a relationship with someone, right? And it talks about what you said, being we're all stoic guys, we're all big and macho, whatever. I think that what Brene Brown, she's a wonderful author. She talks about a lot
Mm.
about vulnerability and vulnerability being a connector. One of the reasons I broke up with my ex is because there was no communication. And so
Yeah.
for 3 years after, for her to say I'm sorry was like all the communication in the world for me, you know?
How is dating now, Mike? So we know you want wife and kids. You're a 32-year-old guy. I mean, the issue isn't, you know, the amount of women that want to go on date with you or be your wife. That's not the issue. It's finding the one, right? So that
I'm
is a
trying to
much
find
harder
what
task.
Fairclough has, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like Justin, talk about your family, bro. You seem happy as hell.
I definitely am. But like Mike said, like finding the person that you can be vulnerable with, that person you can communicate with, it's not an overnight process by any means. When you get into these things, like with me and my wife, we started out, you know, like most relationships do. You know, the fire was there, the spark was there, and everything. But once that fire starts to simmer, you got to find out what you're left with. And when me and my wife really started to settle down, we found a lot of our own inner issues and a lot of issues we had with one another as far as like stuff like love languages or communication, vulnerability. Like we're taught to be men when we go into the military. You don't talk about your emotions, you don't cry. Like you said earlier, like being able to talk about those things is really important. And so when I realized these kind of walls I was putting up in my own life, it really opened up our marriage as far as I was able to be vulnerable. I was able to say, you know, I'm having these problems and I don't have to shoulder them alone. Or I have these communication issues and I don't understand your perspective. So with my job in air traffic control, we actually do, so through the union, we teach personal development classes. And so one of the ones we build is called Building Lasting Relationships. And a huge step in that is talking about empathy and mindfulness and your ability to listen without waiting for your turn to talk. And I think in my relationship, building on that was probably the biggest thing I ever learned, was actually stopping my own perspective and learning to listen.
Man, Justin is like going to be a motivational speaker, a politician. I mean, it's coming. Just you got my vote. You probably have both our votes and Mike, so that's 3. So
yeah, that was a big lesson I had to learn too, man. And it actually took kind of like self-therapy sessions, because I grew up, you know, I didn't meet my wife till I was almost 30, so you're kind of set in your ways by then, you know.
Yeah.
So it was, we had kind of an atypical relationship. I was in residency because I'm an ER doctor. So I was in residency in Michigan. She lived here in Phoenix, and we just happened to meet essentially. And we were apart for a year and a half, moved in, got engaged just a few months later, and got pregnant right after that. So it was like kind of everything happened at the same time, and we didn't really get to kind of figure out who we were necessarily as a couple before kind of launching into all the really big important things. So yeah, just like what you said, it takes a lot of self-reflection and kind of figuring out what your strengths and weaknesses are to really kind of dive into the meat of a really good relationship. And it took us, a little while to iron all the kinks out, but I think I know we're there.
There's always going to be kinks though. So, I mean, that's one of those things.
Yeah, true.
I've run into so many people that are like, oh, I'm having these problems and I'm thinking about divorce or breaking up or whatever. And it's like, but did you stop and take a moment to see if you could fix it first? And I run into a lot of people that don't want to take the time to fix those issues. And you got to refine that magic.
That's a big one right there, Faircloth. I don't know if I want to call you Justin or Faircloth.
No, whatever you want, man. Mighty Mouse is still there.
Mighty Mouse, yeah, like Justin Faircloth, Mighty Mouse. But that's a big one right there. I feel that when people, want to end their relationship, they feel like they have to end their relationship. Sometimes it's just putting that ego to the side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ego is a big thing. Like sometimes you're not going to win that conversation, right? And even if you feel like you are 100% right in that conversation, this is something I had to learn, talking about myself and my shit. Even if you know that you're right in that conversation, just don't speak it.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's just there for you, like you said, Justin, to just listen.
Yep.
Yeah,
just listen to that person going through. You don't necessarily always have to fix. Sometimes your partner may want you to just be a voice or be an ear.
That's right there.
Yep, that's 100%. My grandma left me with really, really kind of profound advice, and it was, you don't always have to be right, and you don't always have to say the last thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I try to do that, but I'm not the best at that. My wife can attest to that.
Hey, we all are imperfect creatures,
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, so we're both single dudes, me and Mike Johnson, 31, 32, semi-successful people or whatever, good people. But dude, it's hard to date nowadays, man. Like, I mean, that's just my experience. Is like, there's a lot of like apps and like it's very superficial, and then it's like a lot of games, like depending on how you dress. I drive a Corolla, dude. No one knows how much money I have. I don't want you judging me for how much money I have. You know what I mean? You don't need to know. Like, I'm open, but there's a lot of, I think, unhealthy tendencies in dating. and it's just exhausting. Like, I don't know.
Now I feel you, man, bro. I drive a Ford Focus, like a 2014 at that. A 2014 Ford Focus.
I
It's been
love
paid
that,
off
bro.
for 5 years, and I just don't care to get a new car, quite honestly.
Great.
Yeah.
People don't need to know how much money you have. And if a girl were to judge me off my car, I don't want to be with her ass anyway.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, she should judge you for how beautiful a man you are. You know what I mean? No, I'm just playing. But on the inside, though, like, I think you have to connect on so much more when that fire goes out, like Justin was saying, is that what's left? You know, what's actually at the core, because that's what's going to last. Everyone does really well when, you know, the chemicals of romance are involved. All you want to do is be on top of each other. Like, that's it. And it's just science. And after that, what's left, right? Is that the kind of the fire we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what's left is the good stuff, man. Just sitting at home watching a really dumb Netflix movie that she wants to watch and like pretending you don't like it, but actually liking it.
And you gotta watch The Bachelorette with her. You're like, hey, I don't like this.
Man, it's the worst.
Man.
This Mike Johnson guy, he's really intriguing.
It's those kind of add up in the end. Like, you can look across the room and I could make a joke in my own mind and kind of just look at my wife in a situation and she'll start laughing. Like, it's those connections that you build that really make up the relationship once you're past that lust stage. Because everyone loves the lust stage, right? We're all about the lust stage, and hopefully that carries through your marriage. But you got to be able to, like Brandon said, sit on the couch, enjoy a Netflix, and actually hang out, be able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, be able to talk. Sometimes be confident and be okay with no words being exchanged. Right? That was an issue that I had. Was that, oh my God, we're on the couch for 4 hours. Neither one of us said, 10 words to each other. Sometimes, look, I'm just chilling. Your presence alone is enough, right? Or what I like to talk about now is parallel play. For a lot of people in COVID and being at home, parallel play, it's a term that we use in regards to children. When you look at children, they go to the playground and they play around like, I forget the damn name of the thing. The ring around, whatever you call that. Some of those kids don't even know who the hell each other are, but they're just having a great time in the same environment, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I tell couples to do is during COVID, during quarantine, sometimes that's what it is, just parallel play. You could be in the same environment, the same household, but completely doing your own thing. And it's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. My girl could be downstairs, I could be upstairs for 10 hours. And it doesn't always necessarily mean something is wrong, right? Sometimes an individual just needs their space. And for me, that was one thing I had to learn was space, right? When I was in a relationship.
How long have you wanted to have a wife and kids? Like, when did you know?
I came back from Qatar. I remember getting down on my hands and knees and I was praying and I said, my last sentence I said was, I want the hard way up. And for me, what that meant was, like, I can get girls before TV, after, and I say that with humility, right? That wasn't my issue, right? But when I said the hard way up, it was more of, I want to stick with one woman. I want to deal with her BS. I need to deal with my own BS. We grow together. And so I was 24 going on 25, so I'll say 25 years old.
I think that's good, Mike, because like, I didn't even want kids until about 5 years ago, until my nephew was born. And then I didn't realize what a grandchild brings to the family and what a child, I didn't understand at all until I held my nephew. And I was like, oh my God, I love kids. Like, and I see Brandon over here and he makes me, yeah, bro. And then I see Brandon over here. I go to his house the other day, Mike, and he's like a poster boy for a husband, father, family, cute little redheads, a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, beautiful wife. They're business partners, best friends. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? I'm like, what the?
Not everyone can hit the lotto, man.
Yeah, man. Oh,
I get that. I want that too, bro. I really do. My ultimate number one goal in life over anything else is to build a tree house for my children, right? Number one goal over money,
I built that.
Success, no matter what, right? That's like the ultimate. He said, see, I want that, bro. I want that.
yeah, he's got it.
Like, that's just so dope to me. But
yeah,
yo, Frank, I mean, we got time. We got time.
You got plenty of time, man.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, bro. If I don't find one, I always say this in a joking manner. I do always say, I told my mom and my dad already. If I'm 35 years old and I don't have a kid, we gonna go half on a baby. I already said that. I mean, George Clooney was 53 before he got married to his lady, right?
Yeah, and you do take care of yourself, and we're fortunate as men that we have, we don't have the same time clock. It is better to be a little bit healthier, we're finding out, but if you take care of yourself and that kind of thing, you can be older. And I actually appreciate being an older parent because I'm grinding really hard right now. I know you are, Mike. Brandon is balancing a lot. I know Justin is. When I do have kids, I want to be able to put more time to them. Like Brandon always prioritizes his children at a young age. He's very busy, has a lot of success going on, but it's family first. Because at the end of the day, man, money's important. We're all money conscious and big into that and driving, but like you don't get that time back. That's all you get.
Yeah, like I have to work a lot of evenings because I'm an ER doc, right? And the kids both always just respond better to me at bedtime. So on the days I'm not working, I'm pretty much off limits from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock because that's bedtime.
Nice. I like that's how my homeboy is in one of my businesses.
Yeah.
I know because his daughter Phoenix, 8 p.m. is her bedtime. So I don't care how busy I need him or how much I need him, he ain't answering the phone, during that time frame.
That's good. It's the best.
I definitely get that. For me, it's always been about success. It's always been what type of lifestyle do I want to live, not necessarily what I want to do in life. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I never knew what an air traffic controller was before the military. Literally had no idea what the hell that was. And then I know about it now. But I knew what type of lifestyle I wanted to live. And so that's always been a big thing for me. I know the number one reason for divorce is financial. The number two reason is infidelity. Number two, I'll never do. And number one, I'm blessed to never have that issue, right? I've set myself up. I was a financial advisor before going on TV, and now an author. And so to me, it's just always lifestyle choices. What type of life do you want? So I agree.
Well, you're blessed, and you're also, you reap what you sow. I mean, you built this, you manifested this life from a long time ago, Mike. Like, I mean, I know you're a very humble person, and I just want to say, man, I look up to you. I mean, you're a year older than me. I looked up to you at 20, but in my whitey tighties, bro, I was like, thank God we got Mike, man. What do you call it? Let's be sexy. I'm like, we're sexy, like.
I don't know why. I gotta be the only dorm chief to ever be like, yo, Mighty Mouse, you look sexy.
Yeah. Every day. I mean, brought all together.
And somehow you say that, but it's still masculine. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't come across in a weird way. It's like, man, he's still the man. We're like, yeah, we are sexy. You're right. Okay. Okay. All right.
You empowered the shit out of him.
Yeah, man.
It's still stuck with him. He still says I'm sexy.
Yeah, I still say I'm sexy. It doesn't matter if I have a little bloated day. It's all right.
You got to, man. Hey, Winnie the Pooh wore his underwears and, had a little bloat, and it was all good.
I thought he only had a shirt and no pants.
It might have been a shirt and no pants. Something.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, going back to kind of what you're working on business-wise, let's talk about your book, because you're pushing that. It comes out October. I'm excited to buy it. Can you talk about how that came about and what are you providing?
Yeah, October 2nd, World Smile Day, Making the Love You Want comes out. To be honest, bro, it was a combination of, before I went to the military, I went through a depression. I told you about the depression I went through when me and my ex broke up. But then one of my really good friends and a client of mine, she committed suicide. One of my bosses in the Air Force, when I was deployed, he committed suicide. And I had one of my homegirls, she was obese, and she was telling me she was crying for like hours, and she had sent me this picture of her that wasn't flattering. And she was like, Mike, I'm only sending this to you because you know how to talk to me in such a way that you ain't gonna lie to me, but you can like encourage her without lying and make, in a positive light. And so quite honestly, bro, I think we all the same way in terms of, don't come to me with a problem, come to me with a solution, right? And so for me, my book is literally just a solution to help mitigate the growing pandemic of mental illness. And so within the book, And it's cool that I think it's kind of cool that I'm speaking from a male perspective, because all the authors I named, the books that I have here, for the most part, when it comes to things like that, do come from a woman's perspective, right? And my book called Making the Love You Want is not a relationship book. It's not about how to hook up with, somebody. It's about how to hook up with yourself and connect with yourself and say, damn, you know what? I look sexy in my underpants, right? Captain Underpants. It's truly about, you know what? Stop being a victim of yourself. When the grass isn't always greener on the other side, what do you do, right? And so, and I speak, I have a lot of tattoos, and it's my voice, my authentic voice, from when I speak about my tattoos, or when I speak about certain types of music I listen to, or things that I've done. And I feel that I just simply, for some reason, am incredibly cool with being vulnerable. And I know that, like Brene Brown says, vulnerability is such a bridge, such a connector. And so I think the people that read this book, whether you're at the top of the food chain and you're in your sphere, you still got bad days, It's just that simple. Or whether you're at the bottom and you can't go no further down, this will give you that push that you need to know that you're a badass if you believe that you are.
Yeah, I think that's pretty rare for a man to not only admit vulnerability to themselves, but also project that for, the entire world, right, to read this. And I think that's a really important message, especially with how popular you are right now. I think a lot of people are going to get reached with that.
Yeah, hopefully so, man. I think, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I have a chip on my shoulder, simply because I do come from reality TV, and I am perceived as, let's be 100. When you're on reality TV, you're not necessarily taken as the smartest individual in the room. And so for me, the chip I have on my shoulder is damn sure I want people to be like, wow, this dude was on reality TV. This is like actually an incredible book that really touches people. And so that's a little chip I have right there.
How long have you had a chip on your shoulder though, Mike? Like even before that, have you always had that? Kind of like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. I was such a fan of that. That's how I live my life, bro. I always
every podcast we have to talk about The Last Dance.
Dude, it got me back in the NBA, bro. I bought a Devin Booker jersey, Luka Doncic jersey. I'm watching NBA every night.
Luka is the truth, bro. Luka is the truth.
There's never been a player like him. Like he's
Magic
weird.
Johnson.
I don't know, man.
He's a Magic Johnson. I don't know, man.
Luka's like, what did he just do? Like
he's unbelievable.
Luka is the truth. Luka's the truth.
Yeah. So,
he's literally Magic 2.0.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
I wish I could have saw Magic. I'm a little bit. Brandon's a little older than all of us here, so he got to see, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
I also am a Michigan State Spartan, so he's pretty much a legend.
Dude, the NBA is fun to watch right now. Like I don't know. It's been so exciting for me to have some sport to like hang on to because COVID's been tough for everybody. We're
this
both
week is football week.
Yeah, man. It lights me up. I don't even need no girl right now. Like. Let me put the game on. Let me eat some steak or something, hang out with my boys, and watch the game, and that's it. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. I'm a happy camper. You asked the question. You said, "How long have I had a chip?" I think honestly, bro, I think everything changed for me like 10th grade. 10th or 10th grade. That's when everything changed for me because I was kind of whack at football. And just my whole personality is like, I'm a boss. I've always talked to myself highly, right? And I didn't like the way, I talk about this in my book. I actually speak about this in the book. I didn't like the way one of my coaches talked to me. And it just pissed me the hell off. And I was like, bro, I could do any damn thing. And ever since then, I've always had a chip just to be better and better and better and better. Like last night, I hit up some of the homies. I was like, yo, it's real simple. Just be the best you can be. And that's all I said to him, right? That's just, ever since 10th grade, I think that's been my motto. Just do better, bro. Just be better. I don't care what it's at. I don't care if it's being a father, if it's being, ATC, podcast host, an ER doc, author. Just be better. Period.
Yeah, I think that's really important just to hear every day, especially just from your friends. It's just a reminder, like, just do it.
Yeah, just real talk. Bro, just do it. Like, yo, talk about just do it. I have this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have a TV show that I'm coming out with, that I put all my money in, and I cry every time I look at how much I'm spending.
No, you don't cry though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental
I mean,
tears, bro.
Yeah, mental tears, mental tears.
Let's hear about it.
I mean,
Can you
I have
talk about
nothing
it?
against crying. Like, I have cried, but just do it. How the hell? I don't know how to do a TV show, but what I do know is that I can be introspective and know what I'm not good at, and so I hire someone that does know, right? But it's still getting done. You know, I'm still making it happen.
So where's the TV show going, Mike? Like, where are you able to talk about that, or where are you trying to reach? Is this like gonna be on main TV, Netflix, like those kind of things, or what?
Yeah, we trying to take it to the top, bro.
Okay.
We trying to take it to the top.
I shouldn't even ask that.
Is it still hush hush right now?
Yeah, no, very, very much so.
Oh, okay, so
okay.
yeah, we won't talk about it. Hey, real quick question though, in what way did your coach speak to you? That was, in an offensive manner.
He just said, this is what I say in the book. He said to me, we're about to run this play, and one of the first string player didn't want to play because he didn't want to go in there for the play because he wasn't gonna get the ball. And so the coach was like, oh, well, just throw Mike in there. And I was like, what you mean? I was like, it's like if I'm an ER doc, this person, their heart is already okay, just put you in there. You can go check them out now.
Yeah, you're not gonna ruin
I
anything.
can handle the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I mossed everybody on that practice, but then they actually put me in the game and I dropped the ball.
Oh man!
God, oh my God! That's terrible, bro.
That's funny,
I talk
man.
about
You should be on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
no. Hey, don't hate on my Cowboys.
Yeah, me neither, bro. I'm a diehard Cowboy
That was
fan.
directed to Frank.
I'm
I
flying
didn't know you were
out.
Cowboys too.
Yeah, I'm flying out to a game this year. I don't care if it's 10% capacity. I don't care. I got a Jalen Smith
You ever
jersey,
been to a
man.
game? Have you ever been to a Cowboy game?
Not at Dallas. Yeah.
Bro, it's dope. It's dope. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I hate Jerry Jones. He spends more. I don't even want to talk. Look, this next subject, Cowboy. Like, I just get annoyed.
Bro, dude, isn't that the ultimate failure? That like being a Cowboy fan is like having a wife that cheats on you every year, but you always come back. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping that.
True.
I hate saying I'm a Cowboy fan, but I can't choose it. It's what I love. Like
Yeah, it's just
part of you.
I bleed blue.
yeah, bro. Like if my wife doesn't understand I'm a Cowboy fan, like I don't know if you can be wife. Like you don't have to be a Cowboy fan. Just understand this is since I was 5, man. Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. They like. I don't know. It makes no sense logically, but
yeah,
that's how I am with the Suns. It's terrible.
Devin Booker's not going to stay with the Suns, bro.
Hey,
Sorry.
you don't say that.
no, dude. You think he's leaving?
He's talking to Kendall Jenner now. I think he's moving out to LA.
It's a whole thing.
No, that's great.
I hate all of you.
He's not staying. He's not saying that.
That's great. Give him $200 million. I don't care.
Yeah,
I
you
just
got that.
keep him here. Oh,
He's a friend.
I wanted talking about Dallas Cowboys and about sports. I wanted Kawhi Leonard so bad to go to the Mavericks.
oh man, he's such a good player. Kawhi can go anywhere and elevate the team. If he was more outspoken, I think he'd be more favored. But because he's so humbled and like, you know what I mean? He's quiet. He's like a Tim Duncan, like quiet but gets the job done. Like it just doesn't make him as good. He's top 5 in the NBA.
He's got a great laugh.
Yeah, it's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
He's just a zoned in person.
He is. He's great.
It's super zoned in.
So Mike, what went into the process of writing a book? Like I think a lot of people are trying to write or be creative. Like how did that
Bro,
work?
First off, the mindset is I start this shit, I'm gonna finish this shit. Period. And then I would say the second thing is, bro, that thing took forever. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to write a book. Like people don't understand. Like I hope everyone on your podcast, checks out the book, supports it. That crap is hard, especially because I did the independent route, and so that means that I pay for everything up front. I didn't get a huge royalty check, nothing like that. I don't have a marketing budget. I'm doing all of this on my own, out of my own pocket, right? And so therefore, there's a pros and cons. I'll be completely transparent. The pro is I get 100% of my dollars, right? Outside of like my expenses, you feel me? So if it costs $10 to print the book and I charge $20 for the book and it costs $2 for shipping, I get $8 back, right? So that's definitely a pro. The con is all the stress of dealing with a book I got to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many little nuances that you do not think of outside of writing a damn book. So But in regards to your question about writing a book, you can't tell like it was really stressful.
Yeah, man, I could tell.
In regards to writing a book, I would say literally me right here on my couch with my laptop, maybe a glass of wine, and 3, 4 in the morning, I like to write. When everyone else is in the world is asleep, I feel like I mentally, for me, it was like everyone's asleep. So I'm doing I can be candid and talk openly when no one else is listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that it's going out to the world, but that's just the mindset you got to be in. Sometimes it's, talk to speech, or what is it? You dictating yourself, right? So I would do that at times. Other time, I would say this. I never got writer's block, because when I would feel that, I would just stop writing.
Take a break. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to write through, in my opinion, you don't need to write through that, because if you do, you won't get your best material out.
Yeah.
And then for me, like I was so honest in my book, bro, about when I was talking to my editor, she would tell me, you need to go deeper. And I call it emotional homework, which is, it's like, ooh, I have to have some conversations with my mom and my dad before the book comes out, because they'll be pretty mad if I don't tell them first. But the process is just, like I said, step one is just the mental step, which is just, I'm gonna start this shit, I'm gonna finish this. And then just from there, you do have to, a quasi calendar of, okay, I need to write this much, this week, right? Which just keeps yourself accountable. And then from there, if it's your number one thing, then you need to put that above everything else. It's like, I love something that Kobe Bryant said, and I talk about the late great Kobe in my book. He was talking about, so I think a reporter asked him, how is he such a great father to 4 daughters and an NBA legend? And he was like, I put just as much work in my family life as I do on the court, right? And that, to me, that was pretty dope to me, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Which is saying a lot, because Kobe was
no one's put in
rare.
more work than Kobe ever.
yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
But for him to do that and say, there is no slack, right? There you can't. I always hear the analogy of, when you get with someone, you have such a burning flame, right? And then you have your careers take off, and so you got a little flame in this category that takes from this category. You have children, it takes a little bit of flame. Shit, in 10 years, your flame is going out. So you always have to keep the same flame that you kept with your girl in the beginning. That has to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be an ER doctor, and I know you work your butt off. You figure that out, figure it out how to keep that flame throughout all of it.
You always got to set time aside for that, man.
Yeah, Brandon does like this amazing job, because he's my business partner with our business starting next month. He's got a big project he's working on, which is a business is going to help with COVID.
Which is funny. It's actually one of our investors is one of Jerry Jones's best friends. It's funny.
So it's going to help.
I love Jerry as a business person. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
It wouldn't get back to
He's a
him.
genius.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Steven Jones did a lot better, though. I think Steven's really helped right the ship a bit, because they made some good moves the last like 5-6 years, like better than they used to.
I heard he cursed his dad out or something in regards to CD Lamb. Like, if they didn't pick him up. Yeah, they were like, yo, I'm gonna kill you if we don't pick him up.
Dude, they're Texan, or they're Arkansas, I think, from Arkansas, but Texan type guys. And then you got Will McClay, who doesn't get enough credit. Will McClay, the general manager, his draft strategy and his results have been remarkable. He's not the technical GM, because it's Jerry Jones likes a title, old guy. But yeah, he's the reason why. Yeah, it's a title. But yeah, with Brandon, dude, like he jumped on board with the business that we started in a month called Frankly New Joints. The podcast, he was like, I saw him 2 months ago. This podcast went from a backyard podcast to now it's professional. He's balancing his 2 young, beautiful daughters, his wife, and then he's an ER physician right now. Like, he goes to a shift here soon. I mean, emergency room is not. I mean, it's usually chaotic. Yeah, it's nothing to play with. And we used to run codes together and save people that were, dying and stuff. Like, I mean, it's a testament, man. There is if there's a will, there's a way to do it.
Facts.
Yeah, we're waiting on our FDA approval for this device that he's kind of hitting at, and should be any day. So it'd be pretty cool.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that, man. For real.
He's also overly humble. Like, but yeah. I can't wait to be just your cheerleader. Can I just be the cheerleader for you guys? Like, I'm just gonna be a hype man. That's it. That's who I am. But
I just want to be the hype man. I'm just here to hype y'all up.
well, man, I gotta tell you, you brought up mental health. I actually struggled with PTSD for a long time, and I ended up healing it with EMDR and hypnosis in the last like 6 months, actually. And I'm actually living a full life now. I actually had my first PTSD flare up during boot camp, because how it works is when you have an acutely stressful situation, which is basic military training, it threw me into a deep, dark place. So I want to say all the guys that were around me helped pick me up. And I went through a lot. And anyways, mental health is a huge passion of mine, and Brandon's, and then this podcast too. So I'm glad that you're
This
helping.
week is actually Suicide Prevention Week.
Yep.
So I mean, it's kind of like a perfect timing, I guess, to have this conversation.
Yeah, man, it's the 7th leading cause of death, and it's the saddest death, I think, because it's the most preventable. And a lot of it is trying to. I don't have all the answers. It's multifactorial, but every time someone does take their life, it's sad. Like, regardless.
It's one of the things that we have to get comfortable talking about. And it's not just suicide by itself, but mental health in general. We've been taught and conditioned from such a young age that don't talk about that. Keep it to yourself. Keep it boxed inside. But like Mike said, when he talks about vulnerability, or when you talk about your PTSD, or when we all talk about suicide, we have to be able to take these topics and make them something that every single person talks about. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling anxious. I'm having these negative, dark thoughts. And then, like us right here, lifting each other up. I want to be your hype man. I want to congratulate you. That's what we need to have for one another. We got to reach back and pull each other up when we're successful. And we got to be able to stick our hand out when we're not having the best of times too.
Facts, definitely so. I was just, as you were speaking, Justin, I was thinking, we got to be like the dopest boot camp crew ever, because like
Ever, yeah.
Especially from the Air Force,
boot
bro.
camp crew is goodness.
Especially from the Air Force. Like, we were flight 745, 320 train squadron in the World War II Air Force dorms, you call them, or whatever. They're old, dude. They were like, so much mold was in there, bro. Was there asbestos in there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was old. And I don't know. It's really weird, man. You have 8.5 weeks, but those struggles build lifelong friendships. Like, these guys I haven't seen in 13 years, and I could still, bro out with them right now. And it just continued that day, and we've had a lot of growth. It really is amazing.
That's cool.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Exactly.
I remember.
No, you go, man.
I was just thinking. I wonder, like, what Sergeant Johnson and our trainee TI, I forget his name.
McEwen.
What'd you say?
McEwen, yeah. He was
I knew it was weird.
weird.
Didn't Sergeant McEwen throw the damn boot out the?
Oh, dude, yeah, he threw the shoe through the window, bro.
Yeah,
He was trying to be all hard, and he took a guy's shoe and you chucked it and broke a window. He got trouble and whatever. Yeah, he had to calm down a bit, but
it was so crazy. I wonder what they're doing now, because I think Sergeant McEwen went to Germany, and that's all I really remember.
yeah, it's hard how you never see people again. I went to tech school. I did HVAC, so I did like 5 months at Shepherd, which sucked. You guys both did air traffic, is that right?
Oh, no.
Oh, Justin did.
Just in the air traffic. I was cybersecurity.
Oh, yeah. You switched though, huh, Mike? Weren't you one of the guys that switched in boot camp? Like, weren't they like taking people?
Yeah, I was unsure because, again, my whole life, I just know the type of lifestyle I want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Signed up to get there.
Yeah, just the path to getting there. I'm sure y'all have seen, like, the path to success is not like this. It's more.
Yeah,
It's erratic as shit.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so I did switch. I even switched in tech school. Somebody was like, I was supposed to go to some stateside base. I'm like, hell no to that. And I switched somebody to go overseas. So that's what it was for me.
Man, what a journey, Mike. And you're only 32. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years if you had to guess? Like, where are you hoping? Where are you aiming?
Wife and kids, man.
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. Wife and kids. I want to be I'll be putting out my second book around that time frame. I'll be on my journey to, I mean, to be honest, at 35 years old, I'll be financially free to where I never have to work for money again. And I'll be doing I'll be becoming a Renaissance man, like, to be straight up.
I love that.
I want to learn Mandarin, Chinese, Spanish, the guitar, the piano, the sax. My favorite fighting stance, which is I'm just losing my mind right now. Israeli fighting stance, Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Oh yeah, Krav Maga.
Just a Renaissance man.
Man,
So you already have a second book idea?
Yeah, all right, it's already,
That's awesome.
Bro, he's probably got 5 book ideas. Let's be real, man. Anything Mike does, here's the bar, here's Mike. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's good. That's who you are. I think something that people recognize with for a long time is you actually know who you are, and you are being 100% of what Mike Johnson needs to be. Like, people may say, "Oh, Mike, are you doing okay? Are you stressed out?" Like, no. Mike Johnson's a cheetah. He needs to run. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's who you are, man, and you can see it. That's why you light up.
That's
You're
funny
in
you
the
say that, bro. That's when I was one of my managers back in the day. He was like, "Bro, you're like a stallion, a horse. I'm trying to pull back the reins, and you just want to go."
Yeah, that's it. I mean, sometimes you need a partner to, hey, Mike, you know, eat some carrots here. Let's chill out.
Some carrots here. Eat an apple.
Slow down.
Let's do that, because like I'm pretty high energy
Yeah.
and nonstop, and people assume that because of that I'm not happy at times. And it's like, you don't understand when you are in the zone. Like, I forget what day it is. Most of the time I have to ask patients actually what day it is. I don't know. I'm like, what it is today? Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know. I just know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing today. And I think that's how life was meant to be. We're not supposed to be so calendar jockey. And it's so nice to see that Mike Johnson's giving this, and even Brandon and Justin and all of us are giving this example of, you don't have to do, you know, the
rat
basic,
race.
the rat race
Yeah.
that was never intended to fulfill people. And, you know, that's going to help with mental health. It's going to help with a better society. I'm a big advocate. Our podcast actually sold here, just to do a quick plug. We actually,
The last guest that we had.
the last guest we had, How to Rona.
There's this guy, this ER doc that I know had this kind of viral video on MSNBC about how to Rona, this textbook that he had. It was in response to that Trump Axios interview, and it was pretty funny. So we just released that this morning, but we did this for charity to St. Jude's.
And guys, he was a freaking ER doc in the Air Force overseas twice.
Yeah.
So
he
this
did 2
guy
tours.
saw trauma, horrific stuff in Afghanistan. I mean, this guy is an absolute stud. We had a great conversation. It's just nice. And then all the proceeds of this shirt that we all manually did, by the way, it was a lot of work. It took us 4 hours just to bag them. All the proceeds,
4 hours.
yeah. And my buddy Eric, who's not here, but all the proceeds go to St. Jude's.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can we stand up as strong men? How can we stand up as good male role models and walk the walk, and also give back? Because there are some really daunting things going on in the economy, political realm. I mean, all kinds of things are kind of scary right now, and this is when we need to stand up. And I think definitely, Mike, you're leading the charge, man.
I think we all are. I think we definitely all are. In our own respective environments, we definitely all are. But I appreciate it, though.
And I would say, even for Justin, just being the father that, you know, he seems to be, that's leading a very important charge as well. It's just being present and being just an awesome family guy.
Yeah, and Justin is well thought out.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, so I put out a Facebook post asking people to, if there's any pressing questions for Mike Johnson, and I would say 90% of them was just asking for a date. One of them was my wife, and one of them was my cousin, so I'm not going to do that. But why the fuck weren't you the Bachelor?
Yeah,
Bro.
what happened there, bro?
Like,
I don't know, man.
I quit. So, like, I watched usually about 3/4 of each season. Like, I couldn't watch that one.
He's not gonna watch that one. Yeah.
Like, the one that you should have been the Bachelor. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell happened? Yeah.
Are you trying to get back on?
No.
Like, or are you done?
Nah.
Like,
He's done with that
you're
shit.
done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Bigger, better things.
I don't. No, I mean, The Bachelor was a great,
Yeah.
a great thing, but it's not something I.
But you were like clearly the guy that should have been it.
I agree. I'm not gonna deny it.
Was that a chip on your shoulder after that, or no?
Maybe it might not in the sense of, oh, I want to be the Bachelor, but in the sense of it just adds to my chip on my shoulder, probably so.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I know I was a great individual to be cast as this position. So it probably does add. I never looked at it that way, but it probably only makes you want to be even better.
I mean, everybody loved you.
I've always said to win the popular vote 2 years in a row, but to lose to the electoral college vote 2 years in a row is pretty damn annoying. But I mean, if I find my wifey before going on TV, I don't give a damn. The whole point about it is finding love, right? So
Yeah.
Would you say that's actually how most people go on the show, or what was your experience?
So I watched one episode before, and that was when my homegirl, my apartment complex, you know, people that watch the show like have bachelor watch parties. She made me come watch it. She said I'll be the bachelor one day, and that was the only episode I ever watched. But wait, hold on. What was your question? I just went like.
Do people go on it to find love or for other reasons?
Oh yes. So
Right?
I went on there. I went in there with the intention, I'm trying to find love, like if thing works out. But what I've learned, you know, being in the bachelor frat house, it's not like that for everybody. People have agendas. Not everyone. Some people want love. Some people have an agenda. Some people literally watch the show since they were in elementary school and just want to be on the show. And want to meet Chris Harrison. I didn't even know who Chris Harrison was. He walked in the room. Like that's it. I literally legit. I didn't even know who he was. So
that's great. He's the host.
Yeah,
Frank
I don't know.
We want to get Frank on there.
Honestly, I'll watch it now because you were on it, but honestly, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
So
let's get Frank on.
I watch NBA, NFL, and stuff.
If you want to go on there, I definitely. I'm pretty sure I can get them to listen.
Hey man, I'm not Mike Johnson. I am just Frank, but I think I'd be fun. You know, I'm looking for love.
That's a pretty cool. You got to use that in some realm. I'm just Frank.
Yeah,
oh, he does all the time.
I do, man. I say it all the time because at the end of the day,
it's a thing.
He made me do a personality test the other day. I go, bro, I don't need that personality test. I'm just Frank. Like that's just my response because I don't want to be labeled. I want to be who I am.
But he did their personality.
And you know what? It was actually really good. It was actually really good. I learned a lot about myself.
You learn that you are actually indeed a psychopath. You learned that?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Basically, what is that movie, American Psycho? What is that one with Chris
Bale, American Psycho?
Yeah. I'm like that, but I don't kill people. I'm just really clean.
But he looks in the mirror. And,
yeah, I do like to look at. Yeah, if you work out hard, you should look at yourself. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Well, Brandon.
That's your work you put in.
Yeah. Brandon's has to go to shift here soon.
Well, I'm gonna head out to work. It was great meeting you guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. And please, I don't know how you keep your stress level down, but we all appreciate you for the hard work that you're doing.
This keeps my stress level down. So thank you for coming on. Appreciate it, both of you guys.
Brandon handles it a lot, man. I've been in the yard with him a lot. So
definitely so.
Signing out.
Mike, how much longer do you got, man? Like, do you got a few more minutes?
I can do a few more minutes, yeah.
Okay.
It's a few more minutes. I'm staying.
How do you want to like kind of wrap the episode up? Like, you've talked a lot, man. It's been a really genuine conversation. How do you want to wrap up?
I mean, hey, this is your show.
Well, I mean, we talked a lot, man. I mean, other than I'm gonna have to ask you off air about Bachelor and at least get a listen. I do have a green screen coming in here, so we can make me look better.
And my wife does video editing.
Yeah, video editing.
We have some ideas about getting the tape together.
I think something to talk about is, Mike, is you don't want to be famous. You just really want to be you and help people, right? The fame is kind of a byproduct, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was nothing I thought would happen. I don't even consider myself famous, to be honest, bro. Nah, I don't consider that at all.
What would you consider fame? Like, what does that mean then to you?
I guess I won't think of. If I were to become a household name, then I would say probably. But nah, I don't think I am.
I think if you're prominent and doing things to help some people, like that's fame, and that's what you're trying to do right now. Or at least someone deserving of fame, right?
I think that what I love is that you're a pull yourself by the bootstraps type of guy. I like that you're an independent author. I like that, you're not just the Bachelorette guy. Like, that's the thing. That's why I wanted to bring you on the show is Mike Johnson has been Mike Johnson since I knew him 13 years ago in
Yeah.
or what was it? September
Oh, no.
2009.
Yeah.
Like, you've been the same guy. So when I saw that you were famous, I didn't know you were famous, Mike. Like, to be honest, I remember you were a financial representative,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, he's doing finance, and I just knew you were a
You
great
found
guy.
out when we were downstairs and you showed me the picture.
I didn't know, and then I looked at your phone and I go, oh wow, I know that guy. And I still haven't watched an episode. I'm sorry, but I just know that
No,
you're
He
the
hasn't
same
watched one.
straight guy, dude, that you've always been. So I want people to know that there is nothing that is not true about you. You know, and
people, I'm glad you said that. People say, I'm sorry I didn't watch your show. I'm like, cool.
yeah.
I haven't even watched all the episodes yet, to be honest. Like,
Well, I support you, so it's like, I'm gonna buy your book, like, bro, I'm gonna read that shit,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm gonna push
Yeah,
that.
I'm
It's gonna
excited for
be
that.
here. Like, I'm pumped for that. However we can support you. This podcast is starting to take off a bit, so we'll promote you here in Phoenix, and
I
we just
appreciate
need
that.
more successful, good men in the community, and that's what the podcast is, right? Was Just a Couple Dudes, JAKD, was built because we feel in society there's not a lot of voice for good men. We think good women, like your mom, your grandma, my mom, my stepmom, Brandon's wife, Justin's wife, you know, all the women our lives have done really good things, but we need men to step up. I think we can agree on that in all issues in society, is that men need to be better, and we need to promote good examples of that. And that's basically what the show is about.
It's a couple of good dudes promoting good men.
That's it, man. We happen to talk
That's it,
high
right
science
there.
talk sometimes, but you know, like, I don't know, people want real talk, people crave authenticity, and I think that's what made you stand out, obviously, because you went to a realm of, you know, a lot of persona, a lot of you know, it's like the $40,000 millionaire. You ever heard that term?
30K millionaire.
Or
Yeah.
30K millionaire. You know what I mean?
The guys that spend like they're millionaires, but they make 30K.
Yeah,
Go to
people
jet.
people try to
yeah.
inflate
When I
what
was
they
an
are.
advisor, I called him a thousandaire.
Yeah.
Thousand there. Oh
I
man.
resemble that comment.
I think Mike, even with having a few million, I'm gonna have a Corolla, because I'm like, hey, it's American made mostly, and well, I want a Cybertruck.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay, there
I
we
want a
He
Cybertruck.
talks
I
about that
apologize.
almost every podcast.
I'm a big Elon Musk fan. I like Halo, the video game, so like, why not? I like the environment.
There you go. You can have your own Warthog.
Yeah, man, that's what it is.
Exactly.
It's basically a warthog. But dude, Mike, I appreciate you so much, bro, for coming on. And if I'm ever out in San Antonio or wherever you're at in Texas, whatever, I'd love to meet up someday in person. Maybe see a Cowboys game or something. I don't know.
Let's do it, man. I go to Phoenix a lot, actually. Well,
Oh, do you?
pre-COVID.
Oh,
Pre-COVID.
okay. Well, you can
Well,
still
we'll
come
see out
out.
here.
You just wear your mask, okay, Mike? You'll be fine.
We'll see. Well, thank you for having me on, bro.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be done recording unless anyone else has anything else to talk about.
No.
No, it was great being on with all you guys. And Brandon, you know, writing about you, I finally get to meet you, so that's cool. And then seeing you and Frank and Mike again, that's pretty cool. Actually, I'll throw a little one in there. So back in basic, like I said, Mike sat a couple beds over from me. And Mike actually came over one day. It was pretty late at night. I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do. I was writing a letter, right? And I was actually writing to my soon-to-be, or now is, father-in-law to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage, kind of thing. And Mike, I don't know if you remember this. You actually came over and sat with me for a little bit as I wrote some of that, and I kind of soundboarded you. It had to be like midnight. We probably would have gotten in trouble if anybody had come in. But that's probably one of my favorite memories from boot camp of you and me.
That's what's up, bro. Nah, that makes me smile like crazy.
That's great.
That's so crazy. So crazy.
Yeah, man, and just you being there and being a presence during a really tough time for a lot. I think people don't realize the amount of stress people go under during that time. They call it like a shell shock syndrome. You know, the first 3 weeks, it's like normal to want to jump out of a window. Like, it just sucks. Like, you have no life. You lose all your civil rights. Like, dude, bro, I can't even go to the bathroom in peace. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? I can't even poop quietly. Like, anyway, so it was nice to have people in there that we banded together as brothers. And you can see that, you know, now, even 13 years later. I haven't seen you guys since 2009.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
That's crazy. Man, Justin, thank you for telling me that, bro. I'm gonna keep smiling the rest of the day because of that.
Okay. It was such a little thing, but you know, it means a lot, and I remember it like distinctly. So, you know, those little things that we did that built us up as who we are.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign off here in a second. So,
All right.
All right.
Wonderful, guys. Hold on.
Did I stop? Hang on.
Thank you for tuning in to another can't miss episode of Just a Couple Dudes or Jacked podcast. We're new on Twitter, so please give us a follow at JAKDpod. On Instagram, you can follow us at JAKD_podcast, and we have a new YouTube channel set up at Just a Couple Dudes, and that's couple with a K. We also have a website, jakdpod.com, with a new store set up where you can check out our merch and other fun items that we're going to be putting up. So please give us a follow, check out our website, and tune in for the next podcast that we'll be releasing shortly. Thanks.